So I was thinking about something, and I was thinking about marshmallows, and more specifically, there's this old study that was done, and maybe you've heard of it, but they took these little kids and they put a marshmallow in front of them, and they said, "Okay, you can either have this marshmallow, or I'm going to leave and come back in a little while, and if you wait until I come back, then you can have two marshmallows." So they would leave, and then they would film the kids through a two-way mirror, and the kids would really, some of the kids would really struggle and grit it out and get two marshmallows, and other ones would break down. Depending upon how long it was, they would break down and eat the one marshmallow. And then it went on, and they studied these kids that had either responded by eating the marshmallow or waiting until the end. And apparently they discovered that the kids that waited for the two marshmallows did better in hitting different goals. They did better in school, and they did better in their careers and such. Now, who knows? I'd have to look to see how this all played out. But what I do know is or what I certainly guess is, I imagine I would have been a one marshmallow guy back when I was a little kid. I think it would have driven me crazy, and I would have wanted my marshmallow. And when I think about it now, I can notice what's going on cognitively, so that you can begin to explore how to be more of a one marshmallow type of person, or the two marshmallow. And so what we're really talking about is sort of instant gratification, or gratification in the moment, or delayed gratification. And I would say the biggest variable here is our orientation to time. How are we orienting to time in our cognitive process, in our thinking? So I think for the most part, if you're an instant gratification person, you're focused, you're in this moment, and you're thinking of either having a marshmallow or not having a marshmallow. And it could be a marshmallow, it could be a meal, it could be a new car. And if you're thinking about that, and you're thinking, you're in the present moment, for many people, what's happening is the present seems real, and you're present to the present. And however you're thinking about the future is maybe off in the distance, and it's abstract, and it's detached. So the present, the immediate gratification will typically win. Or if it doesn't win, it's usually with a struggle that we put off whatever it is that we want in the moment. Now, if you want to have more impact in the delayed gratification camp, there are a couple things you can do. For the most part, people who are in the delayed gratification camp are mentally projecting themselves into the future. Not always, but in many cases. So instead of, they're no longer thinking about this moment, they're imagining that it's an hour later, or however long later, or a day or a week later. But they're imagining that time as if it's now, and then thinking, oh shoot, I already ate my marshmallow, so I won't have it. Or, isn't this great? I have two marshmallows now that I'm in this future moment. So if you're a person that's mentally projecting yourself into the future, it actually disincentivizes eating it in the present moment, which is now in the past. I know that sounds a little confusing. And this is a great pattern for playing with things like eating well, or exercising. you know, a lot of times when people don't want to exercise, they're thinking, oh, you know, I'm comfortable. I don't want to get up and exercise and it's going to be difficult, et cetera, et cetera. And when you talk to people who exercise regularly, or at least when I talk to people who exercise regularly, one phrase that I hear a lot is, I know I'm going to feel better after. So they're, again, mentally projecting to how they're going to feel once they've finished exercising, and sort of the gratification, and maybe they feel less stressed, and a sense of you know, accomplishment, or all those things. So this gives you some of the variables that you can play with. And to take it a step further, you know, I noticed this come up for me in an interesting place, which was I've been one of my new rituals in the new year is I've been trying to tidy up my desk every day. And, you know, it's not a huge task. I just get up and, you know, put away a few things and dust, and it's done. So it's relatively short task. And I was doing it in the morning as I sat down to start my workday. And then I noticed the funny thing, which was when I'd get up in the morning and I finish my meditation and go to my desk, I would think, oh, now I've got to clean my desk. And I was like, oh, this is kind of a drag. I just want to get to work. And it felt like an extra task that I had put in my path on the way to work. And so I didn't feel like doing it. And then I thought of a different way of sort of shifting the time frame, which was, you know what, I'm going to schedule that cleaning of the desk the evening before, so that it's out of the way. And then when I show up at my desk in the morning, it's already clean. And so just shifting where I decided to insert that habit made it much more doable for me. And then when I clean my desk at night now, I'm imagining going to my desk in the morning and having it done. Another example of this, and I may have mentioned this in this procrastination talk, but I had read in a book that chefs tend to wash all their pots and pans and dishes as they're cooking, so they don't get this accumulation of stuff in the kitchen that they have to come back to. And so what I do now is when I'm cooking, I clean as I go, and I plate my food and I clean everything before I sit down to eat. And then when I eat, I only have, you know, my few plates that I'm eating with. And yeah, it delays, you know, my time sitting down to eat, but it's great when I'm done with my meal because I don't have this huge cleanup to do anymore. So again, you can play with mentally projecting yourself and stepping into the future as if it's now. That's one thing. Or you can shift when you're planning on doing activities, so that when you get to the moment that you're thinking about, you have what you have. And I just noticed that the camera was going in and out of focus, so I apologize for that, but I hope you got the good stuff anyway. Thanks.